Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and we're kicking off the 2013 NFL season with our AFC East conference preview. Before we break down each individual team, we're going to give you our all-conference team for this division. So let's start this video off by naming the starting quarterback on our list.
If you're going to build any list involving the AFC East, your quarterback has to be Tom Brady. The 8-time Pro Bowler and 2-time first-team All-Pro has put together a marvelous career and definitely is one of the all-time greats. I'm looking for even bigger things in 2013, as every year he started at QB for the Patriots, he's had them in contention not only for the playoffs, but for the Super Bowl. C.J. Spiller went over 1,000 yards last year for the first time in his pro career, and I said this back in 2010, and I will say it again in 2013, that this guy will be the next 2,000-yard rusher in the National Football League. He's that talented. At the other running back position is another guy that went over 1,000 yards for the first time in his career, Stephen Ridley for the New England Patriots. He went over 1,200 and also chipped in with 12 rushing touchdowns. He's an integral part to that very explosive offense out there in Foxborough. Stevie Johnson is a tremendous playmaker for the Buffalo Bills and is their go-to guy, and is actually the first Bill receiver in team history to post 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Mike Wallace just joined the AFC East this offseason with the Miami Dolphins and is already one of the best receivers in this conference. And if he is able to continue to do what he has done all his career in Pittsburgh with the Dolphins, it will justify his selection on this list. Starting at tight end is Rob Gronkowski of the New England Patriots. Here's a guy that's an instant matchup nightmare for opposing defenses, and if he can stay healthy, the sky's the limit for this guy's potential and what he can do on the football field. I had to go back to Foxborough to take our all-purpose player, which is Aaron Hernandez, who plays alongside of Rob Gronkowski. When you put the football in his hands, whether it be as a tight end, as a flanked wide receiver, or even in the backfield, this guy can make plays, one of the more explosive playmakers at that position. Since starting as a rookie back in 2006, DeBrickashaw Ferguson not only has been a fixture on the left side of the offensive line for the New York Jets, but also one of the premier tackles in the league. Protecting Tom Brady has to start from within, and Logan Mankins is one of the best guards in the league. This is a guy that's a 5-time Pro Bowler, made an All-Pro team once, and does a great job both in pass protection and also run blocking. The Jets are sound at 2 positions on their offensive line, left tackle with DeBrickashaw Ferguson and center with Nick Mango. The 4-time Pro Bowler and 2-time first-team All-Pro is the leader on that offensive line. One of the more versatile and solid interior offensive linemen is Craig Urbick for the Buffalo Bills. This guy excels both in run blocking as well as pass protection. He's similar to Logan Mankins and should garner more respect this season for the Bills. Rounding out the offensive line is Sebastian Vollmer, the right tackle for the New England Patriots. Here's a guy that has played both left tackle as well as right tackle and has stepped in admirably whenever called upon at that left tackle spot, but definitely is a guy that you want as your bookend anchoring the running game. Now here's a look at the second team offense for our AFC East all-conference team. Still a lot of talent within this division, and when you look at Santonio Holmes and Danny Amendola, 2 veteran guys that are looking to have bounce-back seasons this year, Scott Chandler is one of the more underrated tight ends in the league, and when you look at center Mike Pouncey, he can easily be a starter on this list. Overall, a very good core of guys on our second team. Since coming over from the CFL, Cameron Wake has been a terror for opposing quarterbacks, totaling 43.5 sacks in his 4-year Dolphin career. Randy Stark is entering his 6th season in Miami. This is a guy that was very productive in Tennessee but has blossomed into a superstar for the Miami Dolphins. Definitely one of the best defensive tackles in the AFC. You can't begin to talk Patriots defense without talking about Vince Wilfork, the 6'2", 325-pound massive defensive tackle that has been a stud since day one back in 2004 with the Patriots. You have to give Mario Williams credit. This is a guy that started all 16 games last year for the Buffalo Bills and still was able to chip in 10.5 sacks despite playing through nagging injuries all season long. Brandon Spikes of the New England Patriots has continued to do in the National Football League what he was doing at the University of Florida, and that's making plays all over the field. Jets linebacker David Harris is the new age London Fletcher, a guy that's making plays all over the football field but still doesn't get the credit he deserves nationally. He's definitely one of the best linebackers and more underrated players in the league. The speedy Gerard Mayo burst onto the scene back in 2008 as the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year and hasn't slowed down since, racking up over 400 career tackles. Yes, losing a guy the caliber of Darrelle Revis will knock the Jets secondary down a notch, but they're in good hands with Antonio Cromartie, a guy whose long arms allows him to get good position on wide receivers by jamming them at the line of scrimmage, and he has the hands of a wide receiver to catch interceptions and the speed to take it back to the house. In only his second season in the AFC East, Aqib Talib definitely has a spot on his team because he's one of the better corners in the National Football League. Yes, he takes chances, but when he gets his hands on the football, 9 times out of 10, it is usually an interception, and he is just as explosive with the ball in his hands as is Antonio Cromartie. Talk about having range and going sideline to sideline. You look at Jarius Byrd for the Buffalo Bills, one of the best ball hawks in the league. This is another guy who burst onto the scene as a rookie and is always near or around the football making plays. I've been a Rashad Jones fan since his collegiate days at Georgia, and he's starting to blossom into a very good player for the Miami Dolphins. Last year had a career high 4 interceptions, and he's also not afraid to come up in the running game and make some tackles. Now let's take a look at the second team defensive all-conference team. When you look at Jared Odrick and Muhammad Wilkerson, 2 guys that cause a lot of disruption week in, week out. When you look at linebacker Cole Messi, big fan of what he brings to the table, very versatile guy. And when we look at his secondary, Alfonso Dinner had an outstanding season for the Patriots, as well as Devin McCourty, who benefited from moving from corner to safety. Selecting the special teams unit for the AFC East all-conference team, you have to start with kicker Stephen Gostkowski out of New England. Give me the more accurate kicker in the game, and I have no problem settling for 3 no matter where I am on the football field. And on the flip side, if we get stopped on offense, I want a guy that can punt the heck out of the football, and Brandon Fields averaged over 50 yards a punt last season. That's the type of guy you want punting for your all-conference team. I have 2 of the more dynamic returners in the league with Leon Washington as my kickoff returner and Leotis McKelvin as my punt returner. Both guys can easily give us a short field offensively. And my special teams ace will be Nick Bellore from the New York Jets. I've been a big fan of his since he was a Chippewa at Central Michigan, and hopefully he'll start to garner more time in the regular defense for the Jets. The key offensive rookie in the AFC East this year will be E.J. Manuel, quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. He has the skill set, he has the athleticism, he has the talent around him to be successful in year 1. So it's going to be up to him to get it all together and put it all together for 16 straight games, be consistent, and help get the Bills back into the playoffs. The key defensive rookie in the AFC East will be D. Milner out of Alabama. He has the tough task of replacing Darrelle Revis for the New York Jets, and he doesn't have to be Darrelle Revis. He just can't be the worst cornerback in the league, and teams are going to test him out early to see if he was worthy of that first-round draft selection. I think with his skill set and his talent, he will prove that he was more than worthy of that first-round pick. Leading this AFC East all-conference team will be Bill Belichick, head coach of the New England Patriots. Now, Belichick not only has been a very good head coach for a very long time, but also was an excellent position coach earlier on in his career. And when you look at the rest of this coaching staff, you're going to see a great mix of youth with guys like Ike Hilliard and George Godsey, and experience with guys like Dante Scarnecchia and Pepper Johnson, both of which are with the Patriots. And Casey Rogers of the Dolphins has done an excellent job with that defensive line. All in all, this is a great staff put together of some of the best in the game today.